Hello, this is the news of Lisa Lucciardin. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. LisaLucciardin.com. And then also I have my podcast and podcast Arise to God's Truth. All my podcasts here, all here, Lisa Lucciardin. My name is Lisa Lucciardin. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking about the urgency. And here's all my podcasts and all my writings on Arise to God's Truth. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. This is the news of Lisa Lucciardin. I'm so excited because I told you I was writing a book, and unfortunately there was some problems. My computer was broken and my information was taken, but the outline is here and we're working on it, and we're doing a beautiful job, and I want to show you. I'm so excited because another beautiful gentleman has helped me and has found information. That's exactly what I said to do, is not to, we can't have any leaders in the Islamic regime or Muslim that are leaders in our communities, our states, our nations in America and in EU. So I want to show this, his work here. Here it is right here.
Connected to the mosque that is attacks in American history. And to be clear, this is the same Virginia senator that's proposing Senate Bill 749.
So he's saying that this senator, this leader, is connected to the mosque that is part of Islamic regime in terrorists. Let's go.
Which would disarm Virginia. So I found this picture and started investigating where he was speaking at. And what I found blew my mind. This is Dar al-Hijra Islamic Center, and this is what they call it in Northern Virginia.
The terrorist link Dar al-Hijra Islamic Center. Dar al-Hijra is known as the 9/11 mosque here in Northern Virginia.
See, 9/11 mosque, I said the mosque, they use them as military setups. Military setups, and we have to be careful. All mosques should be taken down. This is very serious, or they have to be taxed and watched. Taxed 5 times and watched. Very serious. Let's go.
Virginia, because many terrorists have worshipped there or been affiliated with it in some way. Every day, these people invite terrorists in our community.
The reason why they call it this is because multiple of the 9/11 hijackers attended there. At some point, you have to say that there's a common denominator here. Oh yeah. And the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia has also been to this mosque. So I'm calling for the President and Congress to begin an investigation into this mosque and into Saddam's connections to potential terrorist organizations. And I should...
This is the same thing with Zoran Madawi, whatever his name is, in New York. He hired an attorney that supported Al-Qaeda, and was an attorney for a terrorist criminal, and he wants to take away all ownership and do many liberal things for New York. But he's out. He's going to be out very soon.
That I do not hate Muslims. I don't want violence.
And I don't hate Muslims either. And the Muslims, they don't hate us, the ones that are good, but they hate the Islamic regime.
Against Muslims, I think many of them are peaceful people, but there's too many connections here, and this is not Islamophobia. This is not me having an irrational fear. This is me being aware of the connections that are happening. And I want everyone to think of the irony of Saddam trying to push this narrative. While he simultaneously campaigns and stands on the very same stage as men that have conducted some of the worst attacks in American history. And can you imagine if I was saying any of this back in 2002? We've become so worried about being politically correct and being seen as virtuous instead of being seen as being sick.
See, this is it. And thank God that they have listened, because I've pushed and pushed to protect our nation. And a Judeo-Christian nation, I've asked. My work is shown in Rubio, our beautiful J.D. Vance, our beautiful, of course, President Trump, and Howard Hogan, and Pam Bondi, and Patel, and Bongino, and Kristi Noem, and all those beautiful leader of Hawaii that has a lot of information is protecting us. A very beautiful, beautiful. Everything is doing well. Tulsi, and we have to remember.
Secure. This is why my wife and I have taken it upon ourselves. We're not linked to any organizations. We're not connected to anything big except for my Instagram account. We are pushing the Second Amendment rally in Virginia at the state capitol on March 14th because we cannot stand by and just let these things continue to happen. They're so egregious. They're right in front of our face.
That's what I was saying, right in front of the face. He has the light of God on his face. That's what I was saying for years. Arise to God's truth. In 2020, I said that we can't serve two flags. None of us. And we need to take care of that problem right away. And there can't be there's to be new laws for all leaders in communities, states, and nations. American EU, no Islamic regime, no Muslim leaders. And I'll tell you why in a minute.
And we're just supposed to be politically correct and ignore it? Imagine.
Okay.
In a few years in the future, extremist Muslims start carrying out terrorist attacks in Virginia, and we don't have guns to defend ourselves. We would be fools to ignore what's happening inside of the United Kingdom.
See, there we go. And here we go right here. And I want to show you. There, he's totally right.
Across the world. And the last thing I'll say.
In the United Kingdom, those people, we saw the leaders, they're corrupt. All the way through, they're corrupt. And they have brought all the social services, using all the monies for social services and not taking care of their own nation, their own home. In Ireland, they had a leader that's communist, and they talked about Allah when they brought the woman in that was a communist instead of putting McGregor in. And then Tommy should be the leader of UK. But so we need to take all those leaders out of UK and bring Tommy in and bring people that want to put the people first. And we need to make new laws.
Is that I'm in good mental and physical health, and I carry it everywhere I go, and my wife wanted me to say that at the end of this video. I got into this only a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago.
See, I've been in it for years. Before 2007, I've been working on keeping America strong and waking people up that we need to do this for years. I've been asking for years to do this work. I showed you the work that I've been doing, Lisa Lucia Arden, for many years now, before 2007, and I want to show you the book I'm writing right now. There should be new laws. There should be no Muslim, unfortunately, as leaders. And I'll tell you why. There should be new laws for Muslims. They are legally not able to politically be leaders in communities, states, and nations. Even if the Muslims have a good intention, it is not their belief to put non-Muslims at their level. They're supposed to kill all non-Muslims. The Sharia law and the Quran says that. Remember, they are supposed to kill all non-Muslims. They may be blackmailed. The leaders might be blackmailed. And remember, they're supposed to believe in beating women and forced child marriage of 6 to 14 years old, and Sharia law demands. And they cannot swear on the Constitution. A master social media lady said this. A great point. They cannot swear on the Constitution. These are just a few reasons. Now stop. In all of Europe and USA, no Muslim leaders in the offices in community, states, or nations. There should be new laws. Unfortunately, leaders that are Muslims and even the elite communist walls to immigrants, these deceivers looked at protesters. The Somalians act like orphans. They're not orphans. Just like President Trump says, we need to go into California, my own beautiful California. There's much corruption there. And we need to go into Philadelphia. We need to go into Chicago. All these areas you're going to see much corruption because it's elite communists working with the Islamic regime wanting to take down the Western civilization. And I believe there has to be new laws. I believe that all states have much corruption, as I stated. It is related to the elite communists and secret groups. They use immigrants and citizens to do their evil plan. Hence, all places have to be restored in Europe and U.S. Today, I travel different places to help guide and warn about this land and people in about the God Most High, Judeo-Christian nations, and I have met enemies against USA and Europe, and that seemingly they are orphans of respect, yet they have hidden motives and are also blatant. Now listen to this. Abortion of U.S. is deceiving people of their own life and land. They abort American babies that want to do Holocaust on Western civilization, of the legacy babies. The elite communist Gates is used by Islamic regime of brotherhood, and he does not know it. He, Gates, wants to be depopularized and elite communists and secret groups. Cannot you see this? The deception, even the highest leaders are doing the work of the Islamic regime, of the extremists. What will you do about Muslims have children and social service costs? We're paying for all that. The social services in US, UK, and Europe use people's tax money so our enemy could have children. This has to be taken care of. We need to send all these people back to protests that are disrespectful, and then also all they do that don't respect the nation. They do not. They allow to pay Muslims from having children emergencies. They do for the opposite of American people. The liberals work with them setting up abortion clinics. We USA were the third highest abortions internationally. Cannot you see the elite communist Islamic regime and the secret elite criminals taking down the legacy across USA? So what I'm saying is here, why do they make sure there's abortion in American and the regular people, but then they spend all the money on having social services for all the children of the Islamic regime? And then we need to come together with the immigrants. The real immigrants that are upright, respectful, are real orphans. And the U.S. and UA people, some of these people are orphans. They were not put first. The immigrants were put ahead of them. This is atrocious. And the U.S., Europe need to continue now to restore. So we need to put the people of their country ahead of those of the immigrants. Biden spent $60 billion on immigrants coming in. And every country needs to go back and take care of their original legacy. But the immigrants that are here, we need to assess them, and the ones that we need to give them a sponsorship so they can work and empower them. Do you see the sanctuary cities are used as holding houses of mother countries of immigrant of the United States? Europe for us is to take care of them when their country has enough commodities and business and wealth. The immigrants' countries have enough commodities and business as wealth, but they take it from the immigrants, and the immigrants rush over to try to survive. The ones that are in asylum and the ones that try to come to Europe and America, but things have changed. Things have evolved. There's commodities that can be excavated and changed right away. It just has to be pre-planned properly, integration of visiting nations and immigrant nations to develop business and empower of the immigrant. It's going to take time because this is a sickness of many years of a genogram. 1 out of every 4 immigrants have been abused and trafficked. But that is their land. That is their birthright, their land that they had to run from. Because many were in asylum. Many had to survive. But because their nation didn't know how to produce business for them, that they had to survive, and they ran to another nation. But we don't need to do that anymore. But some of the immigrants are used as human trafficking. 1 out of every 4. But in our case, in America, they had the borders open to bring us down for the vote. This needs to be assessed immediately. No sanctuary states and cities. It may take time to bring justice. It is paramount to begin to work on this. All countries evolve. The immigrants need to be protected and receive their rightful ownership of their country to empower them. And USA and Europe need to not be used as a monetary tool and scapegoat to take care of other nations' responsibilities. Just like I told them that they need to come together and do integration business. I saw my beautiful Maloney, my friend, because exactly her work is exactly my work from Arise to God's Truth in 2020, and then she came in. But she's making a big deal with Africa and other nations to come together and empower with business, because many people come from Africa in Italy. I lived in Italy and I saw it. I waited in line to try to get a visa and I couldn't get it. As a student, I couldn't even get it. It was terrible, and I had to leave. And that's my second nation. I'm from my family's from Italy, but I'm American, and so that's what Prime Minister Maloney is doing now, is using the integration of the business of Africa, and I'm going to bring back business. And I hope that she will be able to empower those immigrants at her place in Italy, and they're holding back. No open borders. The immigrants have to have their birthright of their land. They've been cheated out on the monies and the lands that is theirs. We could do excavations of commodities and bring the immigrants back to their plan and do it step by step. They have a home, they have a job, they have an education. There's plenty of divine nature, of divine minerals that are in every nation. There's enough to go around. They just have to find it. This is a divine command. There has to be a formal legality and sponsorship of immigrants that are in the countries right now in Europe that are working, or those who want to work, and they have a sponsorship with a legal citizen that's been in their country for a while and is professional and with no criminal background, that they can have a sponsorship. These immigrants that are here, that are working, because it's a good thing for the countries to have immigrants that are working in a certain position, in a certain amount. But this has to be done right away. We, USA, and Europe, and the immigrants and their nations, we need to work together in a new strategic plan to give immigrant their birthright to be empowered and live in their country, or have sponsorship and live in the country that they're already in, the visiting nation. We, as a Judeo-Christian nation, when we do justice to the highest, we are actually praying to Jesus Christ. That's what we're really doing as Judeo-Christian nation. They don't look at it the way, because they say it's politically incorrect, but that's what the Constitution and all the laws are based on, the Judeo-Christian nation, which is the precepts of the Holy Scriptures. We can't get away from that, of the Old and New Testament, and direct us to the highest wisdom. See, this is in our laws and our Constitution. All is from Judeo-Christian precepts. You cannot deny. And it says, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. God tells us this. And this is shown. This is shown. But we cannot have any immigrants that are treated unfairly. But unfortunately, the ones that are illegal, we have to address them. But we have to do sponsorship for the ones that are here, that are working and trying to get legal access. We have to get them sponsorship, and they also have to get back to their country and empower them, and get it, just like it's taken generations of time that they've been cheated out on their own land. It's going to take a while to do, but we can do it. We have all we need, but we cannot forget. We have to realize that we have to.
When Charlie Kirk was killed, because I saw what was happening to him, I didn't want to sit on the sidelines anymore. I hope you don't either.
And this is great. This is it. This is what I've been asking for years, for me to come together. I used to go to Pasadena, and I would walk down the street, and they would spit at me because I said I wanted President Trump to come in, because I was told before President Trump to come in, and all my book of Rights, God's Truth, I need to give to the world. My books, they're all regarded as it's lined with what President Trump is doing, his work in the team. This was my first book. I need to give to the world. I apologize. A lot of my books have mistakes. I've been running for my life in a lot of ways. I've had many, many problems, but thank God I'm alive. But this is my first book that I wrote in 2016. But in 2011 and before that, I wrote about problems about what's happening in America. And they used to spit at me when I went to Pasadena, and I was killed and came back to life. And many times they tried to kill me, but I was able to get past it by the grace of God. Now they see that we need to save our country and save our place. But the people knew in Pasadena area that I had a hand on this, and God blessed me to do this work. And so I was always oppressed and suppressed because they had the elite communists in the Islamic regime in California. There's 700,000 Muslims. So a portion of those Muslims, I'm sorry, are Islamic regime. I'm sorry, there's 700,000 in California, and or 500,000, 700 in New York, 500,000. But I always was oppressed and suppressed, and the priest told me, you have to leave here. You're in danger, and you grew out of this place. And that's when I went to Rome and studied in Rome and learned more and more about how to help my country. So I appreciate your time. This is Lisa Luciardi. Let's continue and do our work and empower the immigrants by sponsoring them and giving them legal access with sponsorship, and those who are illegal to see if they can have sponsorship. And then also, number one, which is most important, it will take time, but it can be done, to bring them back to their homes to develop. That is their homes. That is their birthright. There's many commodities. There's many businesses. They're in the ground that have to be excavated right away. And America and Europe can find those commodities and work together and step by step give a home to their birthright. That's their birthright. The immigrants, just like President Trump is doing for us, he's making America our birthright by correcting everything, going through every state to correct it. This is very serious. These poor immigrants, they've been dealing with this for years. This is a disease of their country, that some of them are hopeless or helpless. They need help. The leaders and others' intentions are not good, but we're going to be positive, and we're going to bring our nation together, just like Maloney said, because I asked them to do it. She just wrote it down. She just saw it, that she's making a new deal with Africa, which I asked years ago. Actually, I asked it in 2010 and 11 because I helped write a dissertation for a priest in Zambia, and he told me what was happening, and I would go all over and talk about this. This is very serious. We're going to work together right away. There's many things we could do and work together immediately. But we can't have any leaders in the Islamic regime in our country. It has to be all stopped. New laws. Thank you so much. God bless you. So we can't have any leaders that are Muslim descent, unfortunately, because they could be blackmailed, just like CCP, the beautiful Chinese. What they do to the Chinese, they blackmail them, they kill them if they don't follow exactly what CCP wants them to do. This is very, very serious. We need to come together in truth and reconciliation right away.